forward and
This is your first multi-voice time writing at 120 words per minute. Your proper names are Chronode, Juarez, Rainbow, Iglesia, Emmanuel, number 7, and Christian. I am Ms. Sanchez.
The witness.
The court.
Ms. Sanchez.
The witness.
The court.
This will begin with the question by me, Ms. Sanchez. Ready? So at the first meeting, it was a detention meeting.
Correct.
She was asked to provide proof of age and
Correct.
And then for the meeting on the predisposition report, how did you arrange for her to be here? Did you call her and tell her to be here, or
Correct.
how did you ask her to be here?
She was informed to be here on a certain date through the phone.
Through the phone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And at that time, did you tell the mother to provide to you any evidence to bring with her, any other documents that would prove that he was either going to school, involved in other activities, report cards, anything like that?
I asked her to bring anything that had to do with the child's education or anything that we could possibly use at that time.
Okay. And at the second meeting, what did she provide to you?
I'm not sure what she provided to me at that time.
That's because that's not noted in your file.
No, I do not have that information.
Well, who would have that information?
I would have to bring that information in. It's Chronode on my calendar.
So it's not Chronode. So are you saying she didn't bring you anything?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Where is that record?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Where is the record?
I usually just write it on a calendar when they're coming in to be.
So why isn't it in the chronologicals in the file?
I didn't print that out, Your Honor.
Where is it then? That's what I'm asking you.
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
You don't know where your records are?
Regarding her coming to visit at that.
You said that you don't have the records with you. What was?
No, I don't have the information as to when she came to see me for the predisposition report. I just wrote the appointment on my calendar, Your Honor. I did talk to her on the phone.
So you didn't make a chronological note?
That I called her on the phone?
That you met with her on whatever day?
I don't believe I did, Your Honor.
You did?
I don't believe I did, Your Honor.
I'll move on, Judge.
All right.
Since she doesn't have that information, did the mother not tell you that the juvenile was involved in boxing at a gym in Juarez?
I don't believe she did.
And she did not tell you that he was also on a football team, soccer team called Rainbow?
I believe she did report something to the fact that he played some sort of sport, but she wasn't clear as to which kind of sport it was that he played.
And did she not report to you that that since he was a young kid, he has belonged to Iglesia Emmanuel number 7, which is a Christian church, and that he's always been in this youth group there at this church?
No, she did not report that to this officer.
Is it possible that she reported that to you and you just did not note it in your file?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any notations regarding that conversation?
Yes, ma'am. I have my written notes.
You do? Can I see those notes?
I'm sorry. I left them in my office. They were just written notes for the predisposition report.
Is that not part of the file on record?
I believe it would be.
Okay, and you were supposed to bring the file with you. Okay, this is your second multi-voice time writing at 120 words per minute. Your proper names are Albert Leone or Leone, Icy Springs Police Department, Great Peak Regional Narcotics Unit, North Circle Drive, Detective Bailey, Virgil and Arthur Hendricks, Defendant Grenfeld, Hendricks's Chevy Citadel, and the package. I am Mr. Patterson.
The witness?
Mr. Henley.
Mr. Patterson.
The witness?
Mr. Henley.
It is going to begin with a question by me, Mr. Patterson. Ready? State your name and occupation, please.
Albert Leone.
What is your job?
I'm a detective for the Icy Springs Police Department, and I am currently assigned to the Great Peak Regional Narcotics Unit.
Where were you working on the date of January 31, 1986?
We had set up a surveillance at 2100 North Circle Drive for the purpose of observing Detective Bailey, who was attempting to purchase suspected cocaine from Virgil and Arthur Hendricks.
Had you talked with Detective Bailey before going there?
Yes, we had.
What did he say to you?
Objection. That is hearsay.
Detective Bailey has testified in this case, counsel. He testified at the preliminary hearing, I understand. I also understand that he is on vacation right now.
Let me say that I don't object to that being hearsay as far as the defendant Grenfeld is concerned. I think that goes to the probable cause he might have had to arrest them. So I don't object to that being hearsay as long as he is talking about things he heard on January 31 prior to the arrest of the defendant.
All right, may he answer the question with no further objection?
Fine.
Prior to going to that location, Detective Bailey informed me that he had talked to the Hendrickses earlier and that they would meet him at a specific location. They would deliver the alleged cocaine in the same manner as on the previous trip.
Is that as specific as he was at that time?
Yes.
What did you do that day?
After setting up surveillance on Detective Bailey, we observed a blue Chevy van arrive. It stayed from 10 to 15 minutes. Then it left and we followed it over to the Citadel parking lot.
Who was in the Chevy van?
I assumed it was Virgil and Arthur Hendricks.
Object. We don't want any assumptions here. Just positive identification.
What did the occupants of the Chevy look like?
One was a white male with medium length light brown hair.
And the other occupant?
I couldn't see him at that time. About that time, both parties left the van, but I could not see the second individual. One of the individuals went behind a store called The Package. When he came back towards the van, he was carrying a brownish green backpack. They both got back in the van and drove back to where Detective Bailey was parked.
Did they make contact with Detective Bailey at that time?
No. Both vehicles drove off and we followed them approximately 2 miles. We saw one individual get out of the van and go over to Detective Bailey. He gave us a hand signal and we closed in to make the arrest.
Did you frisk the suspects?
Yes, we found a small plastic bag with white powder in it and a sum of money that had been handed to Arthur Hendricks by Detective Bailey, approximately $500 in cash.
I have no more questions at this time. Your witness, counsel.
Officer, when you were watching this transaction, you were with someone else?
No, at that time I was by myself. My partner got out of the car back at the Citadel.
How long did it take from the time you left the Citadel until the time you stopped that car?
Probably 10 minutes.
Had there been any communication with you about the contents of the bag before you made the arrest?
No,
You didn't know what was in this bag, did you? Could it have been talcum powder, for instance?
it could.
I stopped the recording now, right?
Yes.
Or pause? No, stop.